All right. Well, welcome everybody. We're glad you're here. In today's high stakes cybersecurity landscape, you definitely face an overwhelming challenge identifying threats hidden within the fast streams of communications data, often overloaded. This data is both a critical intelligence asset and it's a significant security blind spot. Well, in this session, you're going to learn how AI powered real time monitoring of enterprise messaging platforms can uncover insider threats, corporate espionage, and emerging crises before they escalate. And you'll see how to build an early warning system that enhances visibility into organizational risks, empowers informed decision making, and delivers actionable intelligence for both your security teams and executive leadership. Well, here to tell us all about it is Edwin Moreno, Field CTO at Mimecast. Edwin has been with Mimecast for over 9 years and is a proud alumnus of Virginia Tech. Go Hokies! So please join me in giving a warm welcome for Edwin Moreno. Let's hear it for him.
Thank you for stopping by. Really quick, who has either sent or received a Teams or Slack message today? Yeah, okay, cool. Let's talk about why those things are important, by the way. I'm sure y'all can read here, but basically, we know that it's all about data. We know data is very important. But honestly, when I'm thinking about this quote here, I'm thinking of things like e-discovery, archive, compliance, governance, working with legal. I'm honestly bored just even talking about this. What if you could actually use data, different data sets, to actually be able to prevent threat actors? Not have to be stuck in this world of governance. What if we could do more with data? Very cool video here in the background, so pay attention. But obviously, as we know, people are using a lot more tools than emails, especially when it comes to communicative. Email has a very certain tonal kind of variation in terms of how you talk. If you're talking via Slack, Teams, or really any of these other chat channels, you're probably doing short form. There's probably no lack of context. You've got emojis. Maybe you'd accidentally send a video and now you're repeating it. Things are a whole lot different in this world, right? But there's also the concepts of who are you talking to? Are these public channels? Are these private channels? Are these team channels? So there's a whole lot of complexity when it comes to trying to protect the modern workplace here. You know what a lot of vendors have done in the space to rely for protection or tools? They've taken email solutions, email e-discovery tools, and they've unwound them to try to go ahead and do this. The big difference is email is structured data, our collaboration tools is unstructured. You need a properly built platform to go ahead and be able to provide these tools of unstructured data. Did you all know one of 166 messages in these channels tended to head to turn PI? Have to be very cautious to curious at who actually provides controls today that does this. While the majority of threats continue to exist in email, you're spending the majority of your time in these channels though. So how does Mimecast go ahead and provide a solution for this? First, let's think of the context of these messages. There's the where and the when. Is these communications happen in public, private, direct messages, personal feeds? Who is doing the communication? Are these internal users, the external users? Are there bots? But then there's the what. This is the power of the platform. Truly built machine learning models here to go ahead and be able to recognize and detect unstructured data. With these models, we have the easy ability to be able to say, hey, are there passwords that are actually being sent in these channels? Do you want to provide controls for that? What's the kind of language are they using? One of my favorites, if not your favorites, is toxic speech. When you think about threats in these channels, is it URLs and attachments what you're worried about? Often it's things like harassment, by the way. People are going to say and do anything, and often this will also result in human resources cases, right? So that ability to see something like toxic speech, what's the sentiment of my organization? Did I just roll out a healthcare plan and all of a sudden everyone's revolting against me? And now everyone's talking at that via Slack? What do you want to kind of know that of a big trend? Could you potentially do with something like that if you had some of the information there? So you have that ability to be able to provide those extractions. And then as we look at it, behavioral indicators, the generating of fast capabilities. There is a lot of data here. This is the right time to use generative AI, by the way. Let me give you a sample report in terms of what's happening already for you. Let me go ahead and summarize some key discovery cases and the common trends that you should know about, making it very easy for you to use that data set. Behind the scenes, think of things like short-term tests. There's not a whole lot we could really learn off of that. They're starting to question things like Wi-Fi, super frustrated, so there's a little sentiment is kind of going up there a little bit. They're trying to actually insert a password here. You can just start to see how the bottle picks that up on the fly. And then it's really up to you as an organization, you as a security team. What are the controls I actually want to apply for? Who do I actually want to be able to see access into these data sets? Do I want to be proactive? Is it going to be more of e-discovery to the build as well? But this is all happening with the intelligence on the fly. These are the 4 common use cases here, by the way. First being proactive. How do I start to identify someone sending sensitive information in these channels? And how do I avoid that even leaving the organization? That'd be key. How can I spot these patterns in my controls and my policies? Once again, historical speech. It's not a matter of if, especially if you're a compliance-driven organization today. A lot of these regulations are changing the words around communications. You're going to be required to store communications for a period amount of years. And do you have that ability of being able to bring that back in a timely manner if the suit that this has not been audited? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when it's going to hit your regulations, if that's something that you're regulated around today. In the end, we believe that this is a huge input into our human risk management strategy. It should be a risk indicator, whether or not someone has put source code in some of these channels, whether or not someone has sent a credit card information in these channels. Once I can be able to aggregate that risk and be able to get a true visibility to that person, what do I want to do with that? Do I want to get to the point of automated controls and locking down devices? But it all starts with getting full visibility